lot of questions, but still no answers surrounding misconduct charges made against SGA President Taylor Martin.
Gone from shelves, a government ruling ends the Four Loko frenzy.
I see fun how this new outdoor rink is faring in warmer weather.
They sound like cheerleaders and look like cheerleaders, but the players they are cheering for are a bit bigger than them. We're introducing you to the littlest Elon athletes.
Good evening, I'm Mallory Lane.
And I'm Jasmine Spencer. The news you need to hear starts right now.
Phoenix14News first told you about misconduct charges being filed against Elon's student body president.
It's a story you'll find only on Phoenix 14.
Nick Oxner has been following this story since it broke and joins us live outside the SGA office with more.
Mallory and Jasmine, student body president Taylor Martin will face charges of misconduct when he comes back from the Thanksgiving break. And even though we've been able to confirm those charges, we've not been able to learn much else.
I absolutely believe I have the experience to lead the student body.
But now that leadership ability has come into question. Charges of conduct unbecoming of an SGA senator have been filed against SGA President Taylor Martin. Sources first tipped us off to the charges, and SGA Vice President Joe Slocum later confirmed them. Even though allegations have been submitted to the SGA Judicial Affairs Committee, a committee chaired by Slocum, they're not official until the entire Senate is notified. That's where the information ends. Nobody's willing to tell us who filed the charges or what allegations are actually being made. Today's regularly scheduled meeting of the Executive Council could have shed some more light on the situation, but it was canceled. It's a lot of darkness from an administration that previously touted open communication with students.
Constant communication between SGA and the student body so that the student body knows exactly what's going on at our university.
When I tried to visit Martin at his SGA office this afternoon during his posted hours, all I found was a locked door. When I called him to find out where he was, all I got was his voicemail. So I stopped by his apartment and got no answer. But I did get an email less than an hour later. Martin says he's sorry for missing his office hours and says he has no comment on the pending charges.
Now, one reason that no one's willing to talk could be an email that was sent out Friday by SGA advisor Janelyn Patterson. On the email, Patterson told SGA members that the charges will not be official until they're presented to the full Student Senate on December 2nd at their next Senate meeting. And of course, she also advised SGA members that they should refrain from making any comment until then. Of course, there'll be lots of development continuing in this story, and we'll be covering them for you all on Phoenix 14's website at phoenix14news.wordpress.com. But for now, we're live outside the SJ office in Mosley. Nick Oxner, Phoenix News.
Thanks, Nick. Our team coverage of the SGA misconduct charges continues. Ben Runzitong joins us with an overview of the Elon judicial process. Ben, now what charges have been made and what's the next step?
Jasmine, student government president Taylor Martin is slated to face misconduct charges and the SGA judicial process outlined in its constitution. A preliminary hearing determines whether a formal hearing is necessary. In this hearing, the SGA Senate will elect a charging advocate and a defending advocate. If the Judicial Committee finds a formal hearing necessary, they'll notify the rest of the Senate. The formal hearing must occur within 2 weeks. This hearing will ultimately decide the fate of Martin's SGA presidency. It'll be closed to the public and comprise all parties from the preliminary hearing as well as the entire SGA Senate. A 2/3 majority from the senators in attendance is needed to make a final decision. If this decision results in disciplinary action, it can include impeachment. This decision will be final and binding, and if Martin is removed, the executive vice president will immediately take the presidency. Back to you.
Thanks, Ben. Here's what we're following in the Crime Watch tonight. 2 weeks ago, Phoenix 14 reported the arrival of a NASA-funded exhibit known as From Earth to the Universe. This is file video from when the display first came to Elon, but now the display is no more. This poster had to be taken down after it was vandalized. Another poster of Saturn was also taken from the academic pavilions where it was being displayed.
Was bent up and damaged pretty much beyond repair. When we looked around at the other posters, we discovered that another one had been punched through, that in the process of either trying to remove it or just damage it.
The total damages to the exhibit are estimated to cost about $1,000. The university has not caught the vandals. Kreider says that the next step is for campus police to look at security camera footage from the area.
A drug bust at Elon, 3 men arrested so far. The Elon Town Police, Campus Police, and Gibsonville Police searched a home on Huntington Street in Elon after numerous complaints of suspicious behavior. They searched the home Thursday, finding more than 250 grams of marijuana, as well as roxycodone, hydrocodone, and Xanax pills. Residents of the home, Guy Green, Stephen Green, and Scotty Manis, are each facing 8 drug-related charges, 5 felonies, and 3 misdemeanors.
It's a powerful combination of alcohol and caffeine, drinks growing in popularity for college students looking for a convenient way to get drunk.
The caffeinated boozing has been linked to deaths and emergency room visits across the country. Drew Smith has more on why the government is now getting involved. Drew?
Jasmine, this drink is about to get a little less loco. The Food and Drug Administration ordered the companies that make alcoholic energy drinks like 4Loko to change their formula or face a ban. 4Loko maker Fusion Projects came out ahead of that decision with plans to drop caffeine and other stimulants from the drink. But the controversy has once again sparked concern about binge drinking.
Bright packaging, a bargain price, and 23.5 ounces of sugar, alcohol, and caffeine. The popular drink 4Loko and others like it have gained a reputation on campus as blackout in a can.
They drank 2 and then they drank another one and then they threw up, and it ruined my night.
Liz and Ed's Mini Market on Haggard Avenue got its final shipment of 4Loko Tuesday.
As soon as they heard the news saying they were going to get rid of the 4Lokos, everybody started coming in here and buy the 4Lokos.
By the end of the day, they were sold out.
Mixing alcohol and caffeine is nothing new. Think of rum and Coke or Red Bull and vodka. But the difference here is that 1 can of 4Loko is like having 5 beers and 4 cups of coffee.
Bert Wood is president of Drug Free NC.
This is 12% for 23 ounces.
He says when people add caffeine to booze, it masks the effects of alcohol, leaving the drinker feeling wide awake while drunk.
Anytime young people consume alcohol and they're unaware of how much they're consuming, there's a red flag.
And Wood says just because 4Loko plans to change its formula doesn't make it much safer.
Whether you take the caffeine out of this drink or not is important, but the reality of this particular drink is 12.5% alcohol. It's a 23.5 ounce drink, so that basically is 5 or 6 beers.
And Wood expects other drinks to come along which are attractive to young folks.
Whether it's wine coolers or it's these new high alcohol content drinks that they're marketing to you, and you need to be intelligent in any use of this product.
In a press release, 4Loko maker Fusion Products insists the combination of alcohol and caffeine is safe. But the caffeine-free version of 4Loko should start appearing in our store shelves in about 2 weeks. Mallory?
Thanks, Drew. Most students at Elon have some sort of MP3 player, but is it possible that they can use them to get high? Jason Puckett looked into this new trend.
I would say I have over 5,000 songs on my iTunes.
Like most students at Elon, first-year student Kate Riley spends a lot of her time listening to music.
When I'm with my friends, when I'm in the car, basically all the time.
Sites like iTunes, Napster, and Rhapsody have allowed people to download music for years. But is it now possible to download drugs digitally? Well, many YouTube users and online businesses claim that it is. And all you need is a pair of headphones, an MP3 player, and a computer. It's called iDosing. The idea behind it is based off of a discovery made in 1839. The music works by sending separate frequencies into each ear, which then theoretically combine with interesting results. But does it actually work?
People are listening to these tracks and are actually getting high in some way off of this. It may be more due to the power of psychological, suggestion.
I don't do drugs, so I've never had the experience, so I don't know if I'll like it or not, but we'll see.
So you're willing to try?
Yeah, I mean, I'm ready.
Kate Riley was willing to try one of these iDoses to see what kinds of effects it might really have.
I feel really lightheaded, actually, to be honest, which is not what I expected.
One popular iDosing website claims that the tracks are completely harmless and offers a variety of tracks designed to mimic the effects of marijuana, cocaine, and ecstasy. Tracks cost about $4 and last an average of 15 minutes. Jason Puckett, Phoenix14News.
Students are encouraged to approach this trend with caution as the full effects are unknown.
The WSOE tower is looking for a new home. Construction plans in North area are forcing the radio station to start looking into a new location for both its tower and its transmitter. The tower is currently located on the top of Harding Dining Hall. Senior audio producer Brian Baker told Phoenix 14 there is no new location yet, but they hope to have one after Christmas break. They have hired an engineer to study options, but no approval has been given by the university. He says they hope this move will have little effect on the station's listeners.
The club field hockey and baseball teams may also need a new home when construction of the Firehouse Fields begins next year. The Elon commitment plan calls for a senior village on the fields where both teams practice. Club Sports wants to create fields for these teams from land across the street from the intramural fields or from unused land in the Danley Center. If the decision is passed, construction will start next year.
It is very important for club sports that these fields be built. Otherwise, several of our club sports will not be able to be active for the next school year.
Coming up on Phoenix 14 News, Thanksgiving break, then a week and a half till those dreaded finals. We have the best strategies to manage both your studying and sleeping when the exam cram takes over.
And some chilling fun just 30 minutes away. We'll take you to the opening of a new ice rink and show you how the ice stays frozen even during this warm weather.
25% off at the bookstore. That means one thing, a big Elon win. See how the Phoenix were able to dominate in the last game of the season. Coming up on Phoenix 14 News tonight.